What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, and yes, I'm back so quickly with another Pet Shop Boys reaction. And I do want to mention I have heeded the call of folks. I know this is actually, in terms of people following it, people commenting, one of the bigger deep dives, and in light of the volume of their material, the clamor among the fans for more regular Pet Shop Boys, my plan is to try to do on almost every Wednesday a Pet Shop Boys Wednesday. So Pet Shop Wednesdays, let's say. So yes, it was actually like slightly less than a week ago that I did the last bonus track reaction to Very. So it may not be every single Wednesday, but I will try to do just about every Wednesday a Pet Shop Boys reaction. So hopefully that is satisfactory to the fans out there. We're going to start going through Relentless, which is an EP, a limited EP from the same period as Very, and the first track is My Head is Spinning. So yeah, I like the phrasing. Of course, if your head is spinning, that suggests a degree of dizziness, maybe disorientation, the idea of being overwhelmed or almost hypnotized or mesmerized by whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're hearing or seeing. So in that regard, I'm thinking sonically. I'm thinking a track that has a very dense or otherwise cyclonic type of environment. And people did mention, I believe, that Relentless has a bit of a like Chris or like dance music orientation, so I wouldn't be surprised if there is a sonic basis for this, even if there are also lyrics that speak to an emotion or to some interpersonal reaction, or rather interaction, that has the narrator's head spinning. So let's see what it is in practice. This is Pet Shop Boys. The tune is My Head is Spinning, and it's the first tune on their 1993 Relentless EP, which, yes, as I said, Seb has listed as a limited, very bonus EP. Acid. love that.
My head is spinning. My head is
Okay, for real. I want to know where the laugh sample came from. But so, okay, yes, very comprehensively dance floor. I love all the different layers. And at different times, it was very cyclonic and dense with lots of layering. Indeed, I love the way it built up. It was very much like a techno tune. A lot of the techno tracks I listen to, they bring in the hat, then they bring in a clap, then they bring in one synth line, then they bring in like the electric bass line, then they bring in a little acid work, then they bring in another synth melody, and it sort of just becomes denser and denser as it goes along. And the first few minutes of this very much followed that formula. But there were also a couple sections where it suddenly, spread out and became a bit more ambient and down tempo before then, reloading and going in, and some different percussive rhythms and layers over time, including like a big snare build, but also some drums that sounded more like hand drums, some different electronic synth lines, including a little gurgly acid refrain or phrase that it wasn't particularly dominant or pervasive, but definitely my ear will always catch that. And I enjoyed the laugh sample. Again, I didn't see that coming, but that was very amusing. That one section had a very tribal feel, like a sort of big and tribal drum type of configuration. So yeah, I think My Head is Spinning is very much in relation to the sonics and the feeling you get on the dance floor, whether or not you are taking any illicit chemicals. But yeah, it feels like we were very much in the cycles and the storm of the tune, which had a couple eye of the storm moments, but was very enveloping and surrounding at multiple phases of the duration, which I feel like is long. I feel like that was like 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Yeah, right in between, 6.5. So yeah, definitely the kind of tune that I enjoy. Of course, given what people have said and given the ear that over time I've started to develop for their stylings, I'd put this more on the Chris end of the spectrum, certainly. But yeah, just a really cool track. I think My Head is Spinning is the only proper vocal. Again, there were laughing samples, and I wonder if that is one of the two guys or if that was taken from something else. But yeah, I think My Head is Spinning is the only line. So, can't really place that into a narrative per se, but yeah, I feel like it was expressive of the sonics that we heard. So, as I said, it might not be every Wednesday, but I'll try to make Pet Shop Wednesdays a thing. So, join me on this more regular ride. Once again, shout out to Seb, who has provided the Pet Shop Boys material, as well as to Mark and Kim and others who've been commenting on the journey across the course of Neil and Chris's catalog. Let me know what you think, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.